You were already walking away. Then they said one more thing behind you, loud enough for people to hear. Your jaw tightened. Your foot slowed. You knew answering would drag you back in. But silence suddenly felt embarrassing. Not peaceful. Not powerful. Embarrassing. Because now it feels like if you keep walking, they won. So you turn back. You correct one detail. You add one final sentence. And in that second, your exit is no longer an exit. That is the part most people miss. The last comment is not there to finish the argument. It is there to test whether your silence still has a handle on it. Because if one sentence behind you can make you turn around, then you are not fully gone. You are still available, still reachable, still waiting to prove something. And that is why the half-second after the final jab matters more than the entire argument before it. Not because they spoke, because your body almost obeyed. Part 1 begins right there, in the tiny pause between hearing it and deciding whether your walking away was real. The first mistake does not start when you speak. It starts when your exit loses its shape. You were moving with a decision. Your shoulders were turned. Your face was no longer in the argument. Your silence had finally started doing what your words could not do. It was removing access. Then the last comment lands. Maybe it is sarcastic. Maybe it is small. Maybe it sounds casual enough that if you react, they can pretend you overreacted. And that is what makes it dangerous. Your body answers before your values do. The step gets slower. Your neck wants to turn. Your mouth prepares the cleanest possible correction. Not an explosion. Not a speech. Just one sentence. That is how it gets you. The bait does not need your anger. It only needs your availability. Because the moment you hesitate, the exit becomes negotiable. The other person does not have to win the whole argument. They only have to prove they can still interrupt your leaving. And when you turn back, even calmly, the message changes. You are no longer walking away from the exchange. You are walking back into their frame to repair your image. That is the first loss, not the insult, the return. Other people read that faster than you think. They may not understand the whole history. They may not know what was said earlier. But they can read movement. They see you leave. They hear the final line. Then they see the pause. That pause tells a story. It says the comment touched something. It says the exit had a weak spot. It says your silence still needed approval from the room. And once people see that, the social balance shifts. The person who threw the last comment suddenly looks like they still have leverage. Not because they were correct, because they changed your direction. This is why the final jab is so often public. It is loud enough for others to hear because the audience is part of the pressure. The comment is not only aimed at you, it is aimed at your fear of being misread. They want the room to become your judge. And if you answer, you help them do it. Now the focus is no longer their behavior. It is your reaction, your tone, your timing, your need to clarify, your need to make sure nobody walks away with the wrong version. That is the social trap. They send one sentence. You carry the whole courtroom. This is why the last comment tests your silence, not your patience, not your intelligence, not your ability to make a better point. Your silence. Because real silence is not just not speaking. Real silence means they no longer have easy access to your nervous system. That is the mechanism. The final jab checks whether your body is still tied to their words. If they can say one thing and make your pace change, they learn something. If they can make you turn your head, they learn something. If they can make you reopen a closed exchange, they learn everything. They learn the argument is not really over. It's just waiting for the right hook. Most people misunderstand walking away. They think walking away means leaving after you have explained yourself perfectly, after you have cleaned up every distortion, after everyone understands your intention. But that is not walking away. That is negotiating for a clean exit. And manipulators love that. Because as long as you need the exit to look perfect, they can keep ruining it with one more line. So the test is simple. Can you leave while the last sentence is still wrong? Can you keep moving while your name is not fully defended? Can you let the room feel the bait without picking it up? That is where power returns. Not when you win the final word, when you stop needing one. The reason you keep turning back is not weakness. It is image hunger under pressure. You do not want to look guilty. You do not want to look afraid. You do not want someone else's version to sit there uncorrected. So your mind gives you a noble excuse. Just clarify this one thing. Just show them you are not leaving because you have no response. But underneath that excuse is fear. Fear that silence will be mistaken for defeat. Fear that restraint will look like helplessness. That fear makes you easy to pull. Now they do not need facts. They only need pride. The correction is not dramatic. Do not perform your silence. Do not speed up like you are escaping. Do not turn back to prove you are above it. Keep the same pace. Let the final comment land behind you and do nothing with it. Let the room feel the awkwardness. Let their line hang there without giving it a stage. If you must respond, make it a closed door. Say, "I'm not continuing this." Then leave. No second sentence. No correction. No explanation. The power is in the unchanged movement. The bait was thrown. The handle was offered. And this time, there was nothing to grab. That is how silence becomes real, not by looking peaceful, by becoming unreachable. The last comment is not the end of the argument. It is the handle. Every time you turn back, you teach them where that handle is. So the next time you hear one final line behind you, remember this. Silence is not proven by how calm you look while staying. It is proven by what no longer pulls you back. Keep walking.